Hello guys, and welcome to this EC Aquatics video. In this video, we're going to be setting up a little ecosphere in this jar that we are going to seal and not open ever again. This is just a regular mason jar. I can't remember where I've got it, but I've had it sitting around unused for a while, so I decided I would just turn this into a simple little scape, and we're gonna use just some dragonstone, some sand, and a couple of easy plants before we seal it up. And we're just gonna use natural sunlight to grow the plants. We're not going to have a light on this thing. This can be completely no tech, and it's just gonna sit where the rest of the house plants in my house sit. And hopefully everything will grow and everything will be perfectly fine. So now we're gonna add our sand, and the sand that we're gonna be using is this top thin, just simple black sand that I have laying around. I'm just using some that I had, but this stuff is very, very cheap. And while it doesn't have any nutrients in it, we can easily add some nutrients with root tabs. So I made sure to add a very deep sand bed, which will give the plant roots a lot of places to root in, and it'll also give height to our one piece of hardscape, which is this little bit of dragonstone that I am going to add in right now, just as a little mountain in the center, just to add some little interest into the tank. I really like the contrast between the brown dragonstone and the black sand, which is going to accentuate even more once we get water into this thing. To ensure that our plants have nutrients to pull from in the soil, Doc, we're going to put in these little bits of a root tab into the soil. We're going to put one bit behind our dragonstone and one in front of our dragonstone. There we go. Now that those are added, we are ready to plant. For our foreground plant, we are going to be using this Hygger Japan, which is a very easy plant to grow. It grows like a vine with these nice clover-like leaves. And we're just going to plant that in the foreground and drape it up onto our dragonstone. Cool little fact about this plant is that it can either grow as an epiphyte or planted in the substrate, which it makes it really good for all kinds of aquascapes because you don't have to plant it in the substrate, but it will grow just as well planted in the substrate as it will grow out of the substrate. So just like that, it is planted, and now we're gonna go grab our background plants. So we're now up here at my no filter bowl, which is doing absolutely wonderful. All the plants have completely taken off, including all our stems up here. And we're actually going to be taking a couple little stem plants and trimming them, and then we are going to be replanting them down into our little ecosphere. We're not going to need many, only like 5 or 6 individual stems. Alrighty, we've got our couple stems, and now we're going to take these. This is all we'll need for the background, and now we'll take these down and plant them in our little ecosphere. There we go. All our planting is now complete, and now we can fill this thing up. Now before we seal this up, we are going to add in one more thing, and that is a little bit of API leaf zone, just to add in some nutrients into the water column for our plants to start feeding off of. And this is a tiny, tiny little container, so we're gonna need to add very, very little. I mean, that's not even a milliliter that I've added, but that will be plenty in there to kickstart it. So I have actually decided to add in one little piece of livestock in here, and I've picked out just a little bladder snail from one of my tanks, and he'll be perfect in here. We'll see if he survives or not. I kind of think he'll have at least something to munch on. Will probably be a little bit of algae and some dying leaves that he'll be able to munch on. And he will also provide just a little bit of ammonia to feed this thing. We'll just add in our little snail tribute, and he should do perfect in there. But other than that, nothing else is being added because this thing is just simply too small for any other livestock. So to seal this thing up, I grabbed just a little bit of plastic wrap that I'm going to put over the top of this, and then I'm going to take the O-ring that originally came with this mason jar and just screw it on. There we go. Now it's all sealed up, and now this won't be opened ever until it finally everything breaks down. But hopefully this thing will remain sealed for years to come. So there we go. There's where our little ecosphere is going to sit. It's fully sealed up. It's right next to all our other houseplants that all seem to grow really well. You can see all the stems in the back and the hydrocaudal in the front. And it's right out on our deck, so it gets a lot of good natural sunlight, which I'm counting on to be enough to grow these plants. But we will have to see. And I'll probably update you guys on how this is doing in exactly 1 year. So if you want to see how this thing has done, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons so you guys don't miss when that video ends up coming out. Thank you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you all in the next one.